Love our weekly lineup of NFL insiders. Dan Orlovsky from ESPN, a friend of Stink, a friend of Stoke legend, joins us now. Dan, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you boys doing?
We're not great, yeah. Bob. We're a little bit concerned about Bo Nix. Tell us from your vantage point, quarterback, what went wrong on those three passes that, quite frankly, should have been walk-in TDs.
Yeah, your concern is warranted. Mine as well. What's going on with Bo right now? It feels like. At least in two of the games, and even you can make the case three, in the most pivotal moments, his feet are just so frantic-y, and he's so sped up. And that was really the case in week one. Certainly showed a little bit, but it seemed encouraged in week two, and then week three. And that's what's leading to these misses. These misses where you're going, like week one was just not seeing coverage. Like, hey, man, that's basic. But then there's probably 4 or 5 misses in this game, these missed throws, when you're going, okay, why do your feet seem all over the place in an unnecessary time? There's times when you're playing quarterback in that league where your feet are going to be all over the place because that's just the reality of playing in that ridiculous environment. But when your feet don't have to be wild, and this really wasn't his issue or case as a rookie, it feels like he is running for his life, or feels like he's running for his life in moments when that's not needed in the least bit. And so they got to get him to slow down and play much, much more calmer from the ground up.
Dan, how big of a concern is this? Is it a tough fix, easy fix? Will it come with more reps? How big of a concern is it when you look at the footwork and missing some of those passes?
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty legitimate concern through 3 weeks, though, because one, again, it wasn't his thing. Like this wasn't really something that showed itself a lot last year, and even more so the back half of last year. Two, he's played a ton of football. It's the guy that one of the things that you loved about him was coming out of school. He played so many college snaps, and then he played obviously a ton last year. So the reps thing, while yes, you're always getting more comfortable improving, that necessarily shouldn't be something that rep-wise, maybe seeing coverages or seeing rotations or playing faster with how your eyes are going, you would sit there and go reps. But this is something that is screams to me a comfort level. This is something that screams to me I'm thinking level. And there's an overload almost. When watching, it feels like there's an overload going on in his mind, and his mind is going a million miles an hour. Quarterbacking, when guys that we have seen play this position and play so slow in a good way, meaning under controlled, and the defense doesn't make them feel fast. We're talking Rodgers, we're talking Brady, we're talking Breeze, we're talking Lamar. Those guys, they don't play to that frantic style because everything they're seeing, it's very comfortable for them. And right now he seems, I always say, watch their feet. Like he looks very uncomfortable. It's fairly concerning. It's correctable, yes, but I think it's more like getting him to calm down more so than, you can't play.
So Dan, what's the fix? If you're Sean Payton, what's the fix? What are you working on this week with Bo Nix to get him kind of underneath himself and to slow down, especially from the ground up?
Yeah, Stink, are you in a cave or something?
Yeah, basically.
He's vacationing.
It sounds like that, doesn't it?
We've had some technical difficulties, man. Yeah, I think a big thing is they were so behind on early downs last week, whether it was lack of execution, a penalty, that there was no rhythm to their offense. And I think early on it's going to be big, not only this week, but moving forward, is making sure that he's building rhythm in to the offense, rhythm in to Bo Nix. And so, maybe that's taking a little bit less shots early in the football game. Maybe that's, but I would tell you this as well. So I think the first third down last week, they ran like spot, which is about as basic a concept as we have. and he misses the tight end a yard inside. That, so that's definitely like making sure that they're getting Bo into that rhythm that calms him down. And that's where you always hear, us commentators when I'm like, hey, get him settled early on, get him some of those easy completions early on. And so, yes, I would tell you that that's going to be a really big deal, is just getting him into a place where they can get a first down or get a second down. And so there's a little bit of rhythm early on to their drives. And so hopefully that'll settle him down. I think their offensive line, specifically on the right side's got to play better for a part of that as well. They've, gotten beat a little bit. I also think this happens with athletic quarterbacks and this is the thing that I would also sit there and say my antennas are up on is, are you looking to run earlier than you should and or have to because you're good at it? And you can make something happen with it, and more often than not, something bad won't happen. And we see this with young athletic quarterbacks at times. And I would sit there and tell you I've got 4 or 5 examples of it where I'm like, you don't have to run there, And so I think stressing to him of like, hey man, let's operate. Let's operate from the pocket. Let's not rely on our legs too much early on. If we call it designed run, fine. I'm good with that. But let's trust this offense in the play call more than we have.
Dan Orlovsky joined us. Dan, Ravens-Chiefs this week. Battle of two teams that I don't think anyone thought they'd both be 1-2 heading into this game. Who needs this game more?
I would tell you, I think that probably the Ravens probably need it more. The Chiefs are always, at least there's people who are going to sit there and say, well, once Rashee Rice comes back and Xavier Worthy come back, they'll settle in. And I understand that respectfully. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are nice players. It's not Jerry Rice and John Taylor, though. So, it's while I think that helps their pass game, it's not going to fix everything. But I think people are going to sit there and say, and there is a part of it that is fair to say. The Ravens, but the thing that concerns me about the Ravens is this is the team that they were built to beat. They were really built defensively to beat the Chiefs and the Bengals. They got 5 first-rounders in their back end. So, they're built to play coverage. They're not built to play physical smash-mouth football. And so, this would be a game for the Ravens. You would sit there and go, we are strategically, schematically, personnel-wise to beat this team, and we should handle them. And so it's also obviously a hurdle that they haven't been capable of getting past in many times. So I would say it's more for the Ravens.
Dan, last one. What's next for Russell Wilson?
Man, one of the all-time greats. What's next for Russell Wilson is Russell is going to have to figure out, is he content with being a backup quarterback, or does he want to retire?
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Dan, great job as always. Love the breakdown on the on Bo. That is, you paint a very interesting
guys.
Picture.
Thank you. Watch his feet. You want to have active feet. You don't want your feet looking like pistons. And so that for everybody, Broncos, just early on in that game, just watch if they look calm or if they look unsettled.
All right, great stuff, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dan Orlovsky and Stoke, and let's get to that, because one message from our 2 quarterbacks that we talked to today, they both said the same thing. So I think it's pretty, unfortunately, painful. Good thing is we know what the problem is. Bad thing is, can you fix it? That's next.